Welcome to What's Your I Can Conversations, the podcast that breathes life into the pages of What's Your I Can. Realize your I Can in purpose, business, and family. Listen, I'm so excited about this particular segment. We're kind of doing a spinoff from the original What's Your I Can conversation that was circulating around my book entitled What's Your I Can. And we are doing a segment on Candid Single Mom Conversations. I am your host, Kristy Angelee, and I am delighted to have you join us on this journey. Get ready because we are here to amplify the voices of single moms, celebrate their achievements, challenge stereotypes, raise awareness, and more. Through these conversations, we aim to foster a deep connection with God, a vital element, as we collectively reimagine our future together. So, today, you guys, I am thrilled to introduce to you our guest, the incredible Maya. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Maya, how are you on this day?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I'm very excited for this.
You are so excited. I'm excited for you. So, what is exciting about you? What is exciting about this for you? Should say it like that.
So, my excitement comes from wanting to finally use my voice to help other single moms. I have been trying to navigate how specifically I can do that. I've been doing a lot of things for myself and for other people, but I've been trying to intertwine single moms as well through their journeys so I can help them of what my knowledge is and kind of guide them through their journey as well. So I'm hoping this will actually somewhat help all of us just to guide everyone on just about every challenge and bringing God involved in everything, which is
Mhm.
honestly my biggest thing that I have been blessed with is just having God by my side with everything.
Yeah, that is always a big thing. One thing that I always hold dear is making sure God is the center. And I know, like, I have a lot of people that aren't religious, but for me, that is the key to success is understanding your identity in Christ and how it all works. Okay. So, how do you, since you want to help other single moms, and so we're going to talk about your experience and your journey and balancing the demands of being a single parent with your personal life and career. So, how do you? I don't really like to use the word balance. I more so like the word harmonize, but how do you, I would say, harmonize the demands of being a single parent with your personal life and career?
So being a single mom with everything, I think my biggest thing was when I first went through my first breakup with and actually becoming a single mom. That actually put me in a really bad postpartum depression, and I just didn't know where my life was going at all. I was in the nursing program, and then I got kicked off of there just because of my depression was just taking over really badly, and I was just calling to God. I grew up Christian and then, oh no, I actually grew up Catholic, went into Christianity, and then became spiritual. So I have my own relationship with God, and it has been the strongest that I've ever had before, even in while I was in church. So now it's like I kept leaning to God, like, what do I do? I want to do something. Use me as your tool. So this is when my eyes ended up opening up and I got into energy work. And being a single mom helps me have kind of like navigate around my child's schedule and as well as my own, just to be able to, I guess, figure out what I want to do. And eventually I turned into pranic healing. So pranic healing is very similar to Reiki. If pretty much everyone knows what Reiki is here. But what I do specifically is I help physical challenges and physical disease and actual sicknesses. A lot of people do not know what pranic healing is in the United States. It's very much used everywhere besides the United States, which is so crazy to me. But I just love, I found that love for pranic healing. And I found like that was my purpose. You know, yes, being a single mom is me, and being a mother alone is just who I am and what I love to be. But also being a pranic healer practitioner and helping others overcome their challenges mentally, physically. I've been able to work with arthritis. I've been able to work with autoimmune diseases, herniated discs, just a whole bunch of different things. And seeing the amazing results from it, it's been really pushing me like, you know what? I can do this by myself. I can do this as a single mom. You're very much slipped down, and you are not able to have this big life because you need that man and all this stuff. And I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm a single mom. I'm very young. I'm 24 years old. I can do this alone. I can do this with my baby on my side. It is okay. And even if you do fall down, you are able to get back up and you are able to just figure it out. So that's what I've been doing, is just figuring it out with my son next to me.
I love everything that you have said, because that's what I really believe, that you do not have to depend on a guy for support. God has given us everything that we need. If we just tap into it, He has given us wisdom, knowledge, understanding. He's given us creative ideas. He's given us innovative ideas. But it takes us turning our ears away from what society is saying and really tuning in into who we are, what we are, wanting to do. As you stated, I just love the fact that you broke away from the stereotype and what you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to handle being a single mom, how you're supposed to respond to it. You found your passion, you found your calling, you found your way. You overcame postpartum depression, even though you didn't get a chance to complete nursing school the way you wanted to complete it, but you still, in spite of everything, found your I can. You found your why, your reasoning, and you are showing your child that just because you're faced with challenges and you're showing other single mothers who may be going through the exact same thing right now, whoever may be listening right now and saying, she's 24. And I am, whatever age I am. And if she can do it at 24, you have a powerful message. You have a powerful voice. And I'm glad that you showed up. Because before you were saying that you were kind of, timid and shy and scared, or you didn't afraid, but I'm glad that you showed up, because you're showing up, telling other people that they can show up too, in spite of all of what may seem to be limiting factors. And they're just there to, exactly what it is, to limit you from reaching your highest level, from reaching your maximum self. And you are a witness, a testimony of you can achieve anything once you put your mind to it, and do it alone, even if you have to do it scared, even if you don't know everything. But as you stated, you one day at a time. I'm going to say it like that. You're taking it one day at a time. You are allowing things to unfold. You're allowing, as you stated, your prayers and your relationship with God to be your guide. And He is putting you in the direction that you need to be in order for you to achieve that level of success that He's already granted to us as single moms. I love to say Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts of good. So He's allowing you to experience the good that He has for you. You are a beautiful testimony of that. If you could go back and tell your younger you one thing that you would do differently, what would that be?
Whew, that was a big one that took me a long time to figure out. And it is know your worth, honestly,
Mm,
because my worth has been very much shut down for many, many years. And I just could not figure out how to get myself back up. And the depression hit me really bad. The just not wanting to move on, not wanting to get through life anymore, just giving up on myself just because I did not see my worth. I didn't see my beauty. I didn't see my purpose at all.
mhm,
And if I can go back, I would tell myself, you are enough. You are
mhm,
worth it. You are able to be loved the way you want to be. You just have to keep pushing. You just have to keep going. And
mhm,
don't let this, yes, this bad situation that really tore you down, let it be the rest of your life,
mhm.
because just one moment is always temporary. Everything is always temporary. So just remember that you are enough. And just looking back at, like, let's see, I was like 21 years old. What would you say
Okay.
to your 15-year-old? What would you say to your 5-year-old? Just keep going, keep going. So that would be my biggest one, is know your worth, because I am worth it. And I definitely am.
I love it, because a lot of single moms they lose their worth. They don't feel as if they're worth it
Oh
anymore
yeah.
because of what a guy may have said, their society may have said. I talked to a lot of women in Nigeria, and a lot of the women in Nigeria, they are told these things, that you are no more, you're damaged goods. Man,
Mm-hmm.
and that can just, continuously to tear you down as a woman, as someone who is able to bring such beauty into the world. We are able to bear children, and for someone to say that you are damaged goods, that's like a big slap in the face, when God allowed us that, um that special place to be a miracle, like to produce a miracle, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
childbirth is a miracle in itself. Like, we're able to create a whole nother human being, coming through us, living in us, incubating, inside of us. But then to be told that we're damaged good, man, that is a powerful statement, to know your worth. And when you take it and you look at it from a bigger picture, it's like, wow, I am
Mm-hmm.
worthy of being, a mom. I'm worthy of being an entrepreneur. I'm worthy of being a woman. I am worthy of being loved. I am worthy of being just, a societal member, and not looked down on as a, someone that has a impediment, someone that is a handicap, or a liability. And so what you said is very needed, very needed to hear, especially those that are dealing with, like you said, depression. I want to talk about that for a moment. How did you climb your way out of depression? What did that journey look like for you? Because I know there are women that are listening in, and they need those practical tips, right? They need something tangible to do, like, or even just a mind shift, a paradigm, right? So what was that like for you to climb your way out of depression?
Yeah, definitely. It's so funny because I was able to come out of depression, but then I eventually started putting I would say my focus away from God, and it started going into reality that I felt back into depression. So I
Mm.
realized I need to keep God with me. And when I did, the way I got out of depression was just using my gifts, using what God put me here to do. And I was to be an amazing mom, and I was to actually use my gifts to help other people. Because at first I was being very selfish. I was being very needy and very, well, if I pray for something, then I'm going to get it. But I actually have to be thankful for that first, and then I will receive it. So I started using my gifts. I started actually working with people and actually helping them heal. And this is all for free. I would never charge anyone. And that's when I realized, I'm a lot more powerful than I believed. I never knew this was a thing. I didn't know that I can actually help heal, these certain pains just with my hands, just with talking to God throughout all of this, all the entire process. And it would take me many, many hours to figure out, what, if I connect this way, then it'll be more beneficial for this person. And I would work every single day for many, many hours. I would drain myself. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start pushing these clients a little bit further back just so I can kind of schedule my day out a little bit more and put God with me and let me just breathe instead of constantly being so excited what I can do. And then once I did figure out how my life is going, everything was just falling into place. And I was so excited. And then that's when I got very cocky. Um, and I started pushing God away from me. I mean, I still had him with me, no doubt about that. It was just more of like, okay, you know what? I could do this by myself, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And me thinking I could do this by myself kind of
Mhm.
hit me in the head. And was just like, oh, no, no, no. I still need to be
Yeah.
with you. Relax. And
Uh-huh.
that's when I started going into financial struggles. And that's when I started
Mm.
going into a little bit more of depression. And then with so much of just being a single mom and just like court and just fighting for my child, everything really, really hit me. But now bringing God back into my life where I used to have him, because I would still have him with me, I would just have him at a distance. But now
Mhm.
having him right, not by my side, because I need him in front of me to guide me. Now that I have him in front of me to guide me, now I'm just like, okay, you know what? I am open. I'm closing my mouth, opening my ears, opening my eyes, and you just guide me. So just having God in my life, and again, I'm not the big religious person, but I am very spiritual and I do have God in my life. And I realize once you are connected with Him, then that's when life is going to be, beneficial for you. Instead of always seeing the negative, start seeing the positive. And once I started turning my pain into power, that's when everything switched. And I'm just very thankful that my eyes did open and my ears did as well. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Turn turning your pain into power. That
Hmm.
right there is something we can get so lost in because a lot
Right,
of us don't know how to do it. How do we turn
right.
something so devastating? And you talked
Hmm.
along away those practical things that you did. You gave thanks, right? And you had to take a moment to analyze yourself to see where things went off track, and to see okay, well, I can make this happen, but I see myself, getting back into this depressed state. Why is that? So taking time out to analyze where you are, taking time out to give thanks in all things, and then you said put God first, and opening your eyes, opening your ears, and closing your mouth so that you can receive. Those are some big things that we can like push to the side because we
Hmm.
don't feel as if they are really, man, that powerful tool, that
Exactly.
powerful, those minor things, how can these minor things be strategies that's going to help me become a successful single mom? Right. That's our goal, is to be a successful single mother in our career, in our, personal life, whatever, using our gifts, our calling, our talents. So how can we be successful? So you gave some really good, gems there, especially turning your pain into power.
Hmm.
Listen, I want to, that's this. Okay, we're going to tap into that. How did you turn your pain into power? We're going to sit there for a moment. Because that's, somebody may be in pain right now, thinking about they don't have the food to eat, they don't have the money, oh yeah, she did this, but what about me? That's not my story, that's not what I can do. That's for everybody else. I'm steadily, I keep getting closed doors, all this, nothing, but all they're seeing is pain, 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 pain in their life. But now let's talk about turning this pain into power. Girl, you talking. Turning into power. I love it. That's my vein. When you're talking about power, that's me.
Hmm.
That's where I'm like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, of course. So turning my pain into power, I ended up hearing that from this amazing person. I think it was in 2021. When I first heard those words, I was like, you know what? Everything switched from there. I am turn my pain into power. And yes, I am in so much pain at that time. I am just lost in this world. I just didn't know what to do. So that's when I started switching. You know what? Why am I in so much pain? Why do I keep focusing on this pain? If I start thinking so negatively, nothing's going to get better.
Mhm.
So once I start, yes, the situation is bad, but once you keep dwelling on the negativity, it's not going to get better. You're going to keep going in this cycle until you're able to start seeing the positive in the negative situation. That's when you get to learn what's going on. Instead of dwelling on the negativity, you start seeing the positive of it. So that's what I started doing. I started seeing, okay, I'm in this terrible situation. I feel terrible. What is the good outcome of this? What am I going to learn from this? What can I take with me for the next situation to happen so I can turn it into better? So, for example, let's just say, okay, I am not able to pay rent, because rent is in like the next few days. Now I'm in this bad situation. Oh, now I'm gonna start feeling sorry for myself. I can't pay rent. I'm just gonna sit at home and just cry, right? I used to do that. I used to always dwell on the negative. But instead of this situation of always bringing me down, okay, now I can't pay rent. What is there next to do? What am I going to do? I have to put action into this to make. Okay, so what do I do? Sometimes I do Uber. Let me just hurry up and go do Uber for a few hours. Let me figure out another way to make this bad situation into good. Or another example is, okay, I got a ticket for going too fast, right? Now, what is this lesson trying to show me? Stop going so fast. Or start paying attention to the road and stop dwelling on the negativity because you're way too focused on the negative. And you should not be focused on the negative because nothing negative is going to bring you positivity in your life. So you need to start getting yourself out of that situation. You need to start, my story is not going to help everyone, but it might help some people, and just always remember you cannot keep dwelling on the negative. Find something positive in that and use it as a lesson to keep going. So that is kind of what it is. Yeah.
I absolutely, again, I'm going to say this throughout this conversation. I love it because you're looking at things that can be, something that keeps us stuck, keep us, limited in what we can do. And the whole purpose of this show is what's your I can, right? Is realizing your I can in those challenging situations, but taking the time out to get outside of you, get a bird's eye view of things. Like you stated, I got a ticket. Okay, well, stop going too fast. Oh, problem solved, right? Okay, so I can't pay my rent. Well, there are things that you can do. I'm always reminded of a story in the Bible. They talk about Elisha. He's going to this woman's house, and she's like, this is about to happen to my sons. And he's like, what is it you want me to do? A, B, and C. He said, okay, so what's in your home? What do you have? So we have things within us in order for us to get ahead, in order for us to have that life of abundance, to create wealth, to create, opportunities. We just have to get out of our own self and stop, responding the way people feel like you should respond in these situations. Sometimes they're learned behavior. You listen to someone, oh, my rent is due, and oh, this is the way someone else responded to their rent being due. That's not your real response. You're responding based off of learned behavior. So what's your real, behavior or response system to challenges? Oh, well, my real response system is I can do all things. So what is it that I need to do right now in order for me to accomplish this goal of paying my rent? And you mentioned some practical things. Well, I know I could do this. Well, let me start creating this so I can have my rent paid, right? So I love it. Okay, so can you share some of the most rewarding aspects of being a single mom?
I would say the bond that I have with my child. I didn't grow up with with the father. He was there for a little bit, but then he passed away when I was really young. And me not having a father in my life really turned into trying to find that love in a man to be able to fulfill that love that I didn't have, growing up. Um, and that's where it kind of started making me want to have that mother, father, same household, same children, and I really, really pushed for that. But not knowing that the partner that I was with, it was not going to work out, um, really, really made me think, you know what, I'm not enough. I'm not enough for this. I can't do this by myself. Now I'm going to be seen as, a very stereotypical, woman of just sleeping with multiple men, having multiple kids, all this, but that's not me. I want the same mother, same father household. And that's when I started realizing, you know what? No, I don't need that. I don't need that. I can give my son the same love of a loving home rather than having a toxic home. So I think the biggest thing has been just being a single mom is being able to see that love that I have with my child and knowing that he is having a better, how do you say, childhood rather than I did. And he still has his father in his life. He's still able to talk to his father and still able to see him. And it's just me always pushing, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to have two households. You're going to have the same love no matter what. Mom is always going to love you. Daddy's always going to love you. And that love is always going to be there. So it is okay to have two different homes. And that took me a while to realize that I'm not going to have the life that I really, really wanted. But it's fine. If God doesn't want me to have that certain life, then He's going to put me in something better. And that's what I'm looking forward to is just a better life with just my son and I. And if someone else comes along, then it happens. But if it doesn't, then I'm just really happy with where I am and how strong I've been able to see myself to be able to do this on my own. So my strength has been really big too.
You're back.
Sorry.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love it. I mean, and that's, I think, what everybody wants, to be able to have that, loving home and build that relationship and know that your child is taken care of, and knowing that you're able to provide and give your child something that you were missing out on. Right. And I just absolutely love your aspect and your grasp on life as a single mom. Because a lot of times I hear the woe is me, the victim mentality, instead of looking at, this is not a place for you to feel defeated. You're not a defeated person. You have strength. You are a superhero. You are He thinks highly of you. And so once we turn our perspective on being a single mom, we can achieve that life of abundance that we want to achieve. But as long as we continue to allow the language of society to dictate to us and tell us how we should respond, then we will always be in that victimized state. We will always be in poverty. We will always be in lack. We will always have, low self-esteem, or just in that I'm a single mom, as if that's a handicap, as if, oh, I can't do anymore. Oh, take pity on me. I have to be on government system, government support and all these things. I have to be on welfare. I have to fight with my, baby's father for child support, because that's the thing that is seemingly the right thing to do in being a single mom. Well, you fight for this and you take them to court or all these things, but it's not a real way of living. It's not real. It's made up. And once we can understand that, we can reclaim our life. And you are doing such a beautiful job on that, I must say. And I want to give you all your kudos and all your loves. Okay. So I have like 2 more questions, and then I am going to let you be free. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a single mother, and how have you overcome them? And I feel like you have already shared some of those along the journey, but I still want you can you just name a biggest challenge and how you overcome them?
Yeah, one of them that I always had the mindset of was I'm used. I always thought that being a single mom, and no one's gonna see me the way I used to be seen, and I'm used now because I have a baby. Not knowing that's not how people see it anymore. Before, I guess that's how it was, but in my head, it's just I'm not enough. Again, I'm not enough, and I'm used. And then my second one, that one was more of like I'm not strong enough to get through this on my own, and to be able to give my son the financial life that I really wanted to. Anything that he wanted, I want to be able to give it to him, but that's not me. At the moment, I'm still trying to get to that point, and I'm going to eventually. I will, but when my son's like, you know what, mommy, I want ice cream, and be like, okay, baby, well, I can't really afford ice cream at the moment. Let's go do something else. Let's go to the park, or let's go do this. That's what really, really tore me down, is that I can't give my son what he's able to get from like his father, from someone else, that has the financials for it. It's because I'm trying to always figure it out. I'm trying to be better for my son. So those are my 2 biggest ones. I was used, and I'm not gonna be able to give my son the financial, freedom that I should be able to give him. And just overcoming the mindset of it has been amazing. Has been really, really great, because I've been able to see my worth, and now I'm not used. Now, you know what? Yes, I do have a baby, but that's not everything of me. I'm not just a mom. I'm Maya. I do this. I do that. I'm able to help.
I love it. Uh-huh.
But and then at the same time, it's like, yes, I wasn't able to give my son the things that he really, really wanted, but you know what? It's okay, because we have better things either in the future or at home, but I still always had to think, you know what? Just because I can't always buy the things that I can give my son that he wants, I still have the love that I'm able to give him. And everything that I give him with my love is pure. I take care of him. I baby him when I'm not supposed to, even though he's 3 years old, but I still give
Oh,
that
he's still
motherly
a
love to
baby.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I still give him that mommy love, and that has been able to, and I really hope it sticks to him rather than just, oh
Mhm.
yeah, mommy bought me a toy, you know.
Mhm.
I don't want him to think of that later on. Oh yeah, mommy bought me a toy that I played for like 10 minutes and then I just threw it out. But it's
Mhm.
just mommy always, did everything possible to always be with me, always attend to me with anything, or mommy always wanted to play with me outside if she had the time and stuff, which I always pushed my son before anything else. It was always my son. If he needed me, he needs anything, I'm always there. Even if it's the smallest things. Like last night, he was just yelling, "Mommy, come look at the TV!" over like every single 30 seconds. It was, "Mommy, come look, mommy, come look, mommy, come." And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just drop everything. Let me just attend to him. And be like,
Mhm.
"Wow, the TV!"
Mhm.
Um, but that's what I hope really sticks to him is the love that I'm able to give him, and that mommy always did everything possible to make sure you were happy and make sure everything was just, great around the home. Um, so yeah, those have been my biggest two ones: is my financial and being used. That I kept thinking, which was not the best thing to think, but I overcame
Mhm.
it, so that was great.
Yeah. As long as you overcome them and not
Hmm.
be stuck in that and allow that to be your and for any person that's listening, don't allow those biggest challenge to define who you are. I
Exactly.
love the fact that you said that I'm not just this, I'm me, this is
Hmm.
who I am. You have to put everything in perspective and bring it all back. You were this before pregnancy, and you're going to be this after pregnancy. This is who I
Exactly.
am, and I'm going to operate out of that. I'm going to operate out of my values, out of my morals, out of, what I, expect and the vision that I have. And this is something that, has been a part of who I am throughout my whole journey of life. So I don't have to sacrifice, being a single mom for being Maya. I don't have to
Hmm.
sacrifice. All of this is me. I can allow all of me to merge together and to present it to my child in a way that lets him know it's okay. Who you are, if you want this, it's okay. But if we can't get it, it's still okay. It doesn't define who you are as a child. It doesn't make
Exactly.
you any better, or it doesn't make you any less because you know who you are. So establishing identity in your home, that's powerful. Establishing that identity.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to other single mothers who might be facing similar challenges?
This one I always, always, always go back to, and this is something that I did. One day, I realized if I don't move past this, I'm never gonna get better. So what I did was my biggest, 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 I guess, advice to any single mom or anyone going through anything, any situation, depression, grief, anything like that. Give yourself a date, right? It can be a week, it can be 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Just don't let it be unrealistic, like a year, 2 years from now. Do a realistic date. Give yourself a time. So let's just say I'm going through a breakup, right? Because this is what I did. I went through a breakup. I give myself a week to grieve, to feel sorry for myself, to cry it all out, to scream, to be angry, anything possible that you feel. Use those emotions and let them out for that week.
Mhm.
Date is done. Move on. Get past it. Do not dwell on what you just were dwelling on because you allowed yourself to give you that time frame to do it. Do not
Mhm.
keep going forward. You are giving yourself a date, stick to that date, and move past it. That is when you
Mhm.
can start getting better. That is when you can start looking at the positivity. You allow all these emotions to be, seen. And now that that time has passed, now use those lessons that you have been learning and take it with you. Figure out what you want to do with life. Figure out how you're going to get better instead of, oh, I'm so sorry for myself. I'm just crying. I can't get over this breakup. Because then you're going to be in a cycle over and
Mhm.
over, and you will never get out of the cycle until you move past it. And yes, it is okay to cry. It is okay to, feel sorry for yourself, any of that. But just give yourself a date. And once you're done with that, move past it. Be better. Be better than you were before so you can teach yourself this is just a phase in life. I'm going to keep going. This is not who I am. This emotion is temporary and just to keep going. It's going to get better. Just you have to allow yourself to get better.
Mhm.
So that was my biggest one.
And that was an amazing one. Emotional mastery is what I heard. Give yourself a
Mhm.
grace period is what I heard as well.
Yes.
And understand it. You're going to, it's because if you forever hold on to this pain, and then there's going to be something else you're going to
Mhm.
experience. And it's going to be, you're holding on to pain after pain after pain after pain. And then your whole life is going to be consumed, and you're just going to be overloaded, overwhelmed with grief and bitterness and anxieties and
Exactly.
depressions and mental problems, all these things that are so yucky and won't allow you to
Mhm.
experience the abundance of life, one that God said that He came to give us. And so, if you're hanging on to all of these things, you can't, effectively climb your way, to a place of success and achievement and abundance and prosperity. And you're going to, you're going to show these things to your child as well, and
Mhm.
that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to show the wrong way to handle. So give yourself that grace period. Emotional mastery is something huge. Learning how to master, and that's what you just spoke on, mastering your emotions versus allowing them to master you. That's a
Mhm.
powerful move. That's a powerful play right there. And then you'll be able to help others. And this is what you're doing. You listen. Y'all heard it here first. Miss Maya is dropping the gems. She is allowing her voice to be heard. She is telling it, from her experience, and not only just her experience, because she's mentioned some real principles here too that I've applied to my own life. I've applied, becoming the successful type and single mom and having to, lay out in the floor and cry my eyeballs out in the middle of a women's shelter, so allowing myself to feel and then allow myself to heal. Allow yourself to heal. And then not only that, there's another level. There's a level of wholeness, right? And that level of wholeness, meaning that I can remember a thing, but it won't have the same effect on me as it once had before. And you're able to walk in any room, you're able to walk in any setting, in any situation, in any pain, and remember I'm whole. So therefore, I know how to use, my wholeness to overcome this next challenge. You're big, you're great, you're an amazing person, Maya. I just
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for
Of
allowing me
course.
to be the first person to amplify your voice on What's Your I Can, Candid Single Moms Conversations. I really appreciate you. You have any other
Same.
last words?
Yes. My last thing I can say is just always remember you have control of your life. You have control of the situations. If you keep going back to it, I can never get better. Why is everyone else having a best life, but I cannot? Because you have control of your life. If you're allowing this to constantly bring you down, you're going to stay there. Don't stay in rock bottom. Yes, everyone goes through rock bottom. It's always going to happen. Obstacles are always going to happen. Even if you get to the top tier of your life, there's always going to something is going to happen to bring you down. And it's going to test your faith. And it's going to be like, okay, you know what? I gave you this big high gift in life. I gave you financial freedom. What are you going to do with it? If you're constantly, using it on yourself and being selfish, nothing's going to come out of that. So just always remember you have control of your life. And if something is not working, find a different way. And yes, not everything is going to work, but just there's always going to be something, and don't dwell on the negative, always see the positive, use those lessons, and continue with life. Always push, always, always push. You fall down, get back up. You fall down 3 times, you're going to get back up 4 times. Just keep going, keep going. You are worthy, you are enough, you are loved. No matter if you don't feel that, God loves you, you love you, you need to love yourself, and your children love you. Do everything for your kids to see that your kids are like, you know what, mommy did that. Mommy definitely did that. I can do that too. Mommy never gave up. Always remember your kids are watching you. So keep going, keep pushing. For if you can't do it for yourself, do it for them. For sure, do it for them, and you will get there.
You guys, she's amazing. Show her mad love. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts and just, expound on this message even more. Thank you so much for joining us today on What's Your I Can Conversations, Candid Single Moms Conversations. We hope you found this episode insightful and engaging. If you didn't, I know I